Ferris police arrested 4 young people, including 2 juveniles, for a deadly shooting at a park in Ferris.
A fight turned into a shootout Saturday night. 17-year-old Sir Robert Dixon was killed. His twin brother now arrested, accused of picking up a gun and firing after his brother was shot. 2 more people arrested today, but city officials say more charges and arrests are likely. Fox 4's David Santandri is in Ferris tonight with more. David.
Yeah, that was some news coming out today. 2 twin 17-year-old brothers who were involved. Now their family is having to bury one of them who was shot and killed, and the other one is facing prison time for allegedly shooting toward a group of people at the park. Surveillance video shows a fight at a park in Ferris Saturday afternoon. At least 10, mostly young people, involved. 26 seconds into the fight, we see 17-year-old Sir Robert Wesley Dixon appearing to point a gun. Fox 4 choosing to freeze video. The moment, City of Ferris officials say a juvenile shot and killed Dixon. That juvenile is charged with murder. Officials say Dixon's twin brother, Mr. Dixon, picked up the gun and shot toward his brother's killer, but struck and wounded a different juvenile. He's charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
We look at this park, we see this park from our window every day.
Brittany Collier's home backs up to the park. Her family gave Fox 4 the surveillance footage of the shooting, footage which rattles her to her core.
And actually seeing it transpire in my backyard is kind of traumatizing, honestly. It still got me like shaking up a bit. Yeah. It was pretty scary.
What we seem to be learning through the investigation is the altercation is about young people acting impulsively and not taking a minute to really understand the consequences of the decisions that they make.
Ferris City Manager Brooks Williams says a juvenile female is also charged for allegedly giving Sir Dixon the gun he flashed. And Juliana Jasleen Pargas is charged with tampering with evidence. More charges expected. The city asking for witnesses and those in the know to come forward.
Because the more we have, the better we can piece this together and try to bring some amount of understanding into the why behind this occurring.
Gun violence is not the answer, guys. Gun violence is never the answer. It's so many other routes we can take.
Collier and her family recently moved from Dallas to Ferris, a city with a population under 5,000 people, in part because she thought it would be quieter. Her family preparing for a child's birthday party in their backyard when the senseless shooting took over the neighborhood.
It turned into a crime scene.
Tonight, a few dozen community members gathered outside the Ferris Department of Public Safety building to listen to a Stop the Violence message. It was attended by some adults, high school students, and even kids of a very young age. It was led by a man named Dante King, who says he served prison time but has since turned his life around. He lives here in Ferris. He says this is his community that he cares about. So that finished up just about 20-30 minutes ago. Do want to point out that talking with the city manager, he says there are warrants that they have gotten written right now, so there are some people who we could see arrested here tonight, maybe tomorrow, more names added to this list. Steve, Heather, back to y'all.
All right, David, thank you.
An innocent driver killed in a crash in South Dallas. Police say another driver caused that crash while street racing, and now she is facing charges. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager is here with more. Peyton.
Steve, Dallas police have not released the name of the innocent driver killed, so we are still waiting for the victim to be identified. Meanwhile, witnesses told police a woman driving a Ford Fusion was racing another vehicle when she lost control.
That's why they went boom. I'm like, whoa. It didn't sound like nothing I had ever heard before.
Jack Rolfe's Mother's Day backyard barbecue came to a halt Sunday evening just before 7. His family came outside to chaos. Cell phone video shows a crowd of people surrounding 2 crashed out vehicles. Dallas police say a Ford Fusion street racing on 2nd Avenue in South Dallas struck and killed an innocent driver in a pickup truck.
They was trying to get the door open. They couldn't get the door open. And eventually, when the paramedics showed up, they had to use a jaws of life to go on, break the doors and stuff off. I don't know what happened before. I seen the aftermath.
Newly obtained surveillance video captured part of the deadly crash. When slowed down, you can see a black Cadillac and the blue Ford Fusion both lose control. The Fusion goes into oncoming traffic, colliding with a dark-colored pickup. If you rewind the video, the pickup truck flips over out of view. The Fusion spins out, but the black Cadillac never stops. Scene video shows the Fusion's engine lying in the middle of the street, showing how severe the impact was. Investigators say the woman driving the Fusion and her 2 passengers were all seriously injured and hospitalized. The driver is facing the charge racing causing death and will be booked once released from the hospital. Witnesses tell Fox 4 they tried to keep the driver of the pickup conscious, but according to first responders, he was later pronounced dead on scene.
It sounded like a real explosion.
And we reached out to Dallas police today to ask if they were looking for the driver of that black Cadillac. Dallas police did not respond as of this hour. The liquor store who provided us the surveillance video tells me they also gave it to Dallas police, so investigators do have it. Steve?
Okay, Peyton Yeager at Police Headquarters, thanks.
All right, here we are with official reaction. The Mavs overcome the odds and get the #1 pick in the NBA draft. We were back in the sports office just screaming our heads off because we couldn't believe it.
I said a couple of weeks ago, Mike wasn't there, so he wouldn't know, but I said a couple of weeks ago, watch the Mavs land the #1 pick after all this Luka stuff. We've been talking about it since that trade went down beginning of February. And I said to you, Mike, I wonder if this now changes things for Mavs fans. And I think if one thing could be done to ease the pain and a transition into a new generation, it's the #1 overall pick.
You know, make no mistake, it doesn't let Nico Harrison off the hook, but it's the closest thing he could come to that was this happening. For them, again, they had a 1.8% chance to get the #1 pick. They somehow get the #1 pick. Now, this is assuming he gets Cooper Flagg and doesn't try to do something creative and or stupid with that pick that doesn't work out. But you've got a chance for this kid to come in here now and, team with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis and have something pretty special around here.
Well, what it gives is this fan base hope for the future, because other than trading Luka away, that was the #1 problem that Mavs fans had with this trade, was the fact that how could you not get a haul back for Luka Doncic? You're basically setting this franchise up for failure. And now you have a new face that, by all accounts, is going to be here in Dallas, providing no one decides to go off-roading.
Right. After a terrible year, the Mavs finally have some good news. My arms need to be longer for this.
Yeah, go
for
gadget arm.
There we go. All right. We got more in Free For All at 10:30.
Well, I guess we may be able to call ourselves record breakers again around here.
Yeah, Hannah, this week the heat is on. We're going from 70s over the weekend. Enjoyed it, by the way, but unfortunately, we're going to get a taste of summer this week.
Here it comes.
Yeah, it's looking scorching hot around the state of Texas. So this week, lots of sun. It's going to be hot for much of the week as well. But the big story is going to be the record-breaking heat starting tomorrow. I think there's a strong chance we break the record on Tuesday, but it looks like on Wednesday we are going to destroy our previous record high of 95, with our first 100-degree looking likely as well. But as we head into the weekend, temperatures do knock down a little bit, but that's because storm chances do return back to the picture. So let's talk about this week. Hot area of high pressure building in from Mexico, and this is going to park itself over the Gulf and over Texas, and that is going to send our temperatures soaring here around DFW. Here's what we're thinking temperature-wise. Tomorrow we'll go 96. The record's 95, so strong chance that we at least tie tomorrow's record, if not break it. And then on Wednesday, we're going 100, and the record that day is 95, so we should be able to break that record with ease on Wednesday. I think there will be a few more clouds around on Thursday, and that'll knock our highs back down to the lower 90s, so not quite record-breaking heat by Thursday, but I do expect us to stay in the 90s for the rest of the week, even after that. So the heat really starts building tomorrow, especially to our southwest. But as we head into Wednesday, I mean, look at the state of Texas. It's Still early May, for crying out loud. 100 though tomorrow, or excuse me, Wednesday here in Dallas, but down to our south, Austin 101, San Antonio 103, Del Rio 105. So much of interior Texas will be baking in triple-digit heat, and I will say some all-time record highs for the month of May very well could be broken in Austin and San Antonio later on this week. A May heat wave for sure, and they are worried about heat illnesses, especially with that first wave of heat of the year. So here in North Texas, just to give you a little bit of perspective, we're talking about our first 100-degree day in early May. Last year wasn't until June 23rd, and that's been pretty common, June, July, for our first 100-degree day over the past several years. By the way, on average, at least from 1991 to 2020, so our climatology, our average first 100-degree day is July 1st. So this is way earlier than what it's supposed to be. So the next question is this going to break any records for the earliest 100-degree day? The answer is no. Here's some of our records here in DFW. So the earliest 100-degree day was March 9th, 1911, but still the 5th, early May. So we're not quite record territory with the earliest 100-degree day, but still way earlier than what it should be. All right, so just switching gears a bit today, not triple-digit heat, but still warmer than it was over the weekend. We'll be back into the lower 80s this afternoon. Lots of sun, by the way. But notice as we head into the second half of the week, the temperatures really go up. 96 tomorrow, 100 on Wednesday, and we stay in the lower 90s for the rest of the week and into the weekend as well, which is still well above average for this time of the year. And by the way, through at least the last week of May, warmer than average temperatures sticking around. So I don't see this pattern changing anytime soon. All right, so 7-day forecast, lots of sun the next couple of days. Obviously record-breaking heat potentially Tuesday and into Wednesday. The only saving grace is that I see some increasing clouds heading into Friday and into the weekend. With that, some isolated storms, and that does knock our high temperatures back down into the lower 90s.